We back, everybody. Welcome back to the Can't Kick the Habit podcast. I am your host, Logan Braley, and in this week's episode, I will be reviewing Week 9 of the NFL. I've been away for a little bit, and I'm sorry about that. I plan to make more episodes coming up, but it's been crazy uh, down where I'm at in college. But we are going to review Week 9 of the NFL. What is the NFL these days? Start off Thursday night football, Eagles and Texans. Eagles are 8-0, but really, how good are they? Because if you look at the Eagles' schedule this year, I mean, give them credit. They're winning the games they should be winning, but they're not playing like great teams. Like, let's see. They beat the Lions by 3 points. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins in prime time doesn't happen. So they beat the Commanders, who losing record, Jaguars losing record, Cardinals losing record, Cowboys they beat Cooper. They were playing Cooper Rush, Steelers losing record. I mean, and Texans losing record. So I mean, how good are the Philadelphia Eagles moving forward? And I think we'll see that. I mean, they play the Commanders losing record next week, the Colts losing record next week, Packers suck. I mean, I guess their biggest test down the stretch is the Giant. They face the Giants twice and the Titans. And the Titans with Malik Willis, their offense looks horrid. So I think the Eagles will have they'll definitely make it to the playoffs, but we'll see how good they are in the playoffs if they can win the big games. Because right now, give them credit, they're winning the games they should be winning, but I don't know if they can beat really really good teams yet. We'll see that in the playoffs. But Jalen Hurts goes 21 to 27, 243 and two tuds. I mean, he's looked great all season. Texans, Davis Mills, 154, two touchdowns and two interceptions. The Texans are just not good. They're not playing good football. Davis Mills is not playing great. Their only bright spot is Dameon Pierce, 27 carries, 139 yards. That's great from him, but their receiving core, I mean, it's just who do you go to? They have so many guys with like one reception in this game. They have six guys with one catch, and everybody. I mean, the Texans they're bad. They're playing bad football, and the Eagles win this game no problem. So Patriots Colts. Patriots defense looked amazing. They were studs today. For the Colts is Sam Ehlinger, the man, 15 to 29, only 103 yards and an interception. He ran for 39 yards, but where Jonathan Taylor's injured, but he hasn't been playing great. He hasn't played all season. He's been playing poorly. Um, Again, the receiving core. Who's the guy that they go to when they need it most? I mean, Michael Pittman only had 3 catches for 22 yards this game. Um, yeah, Patriots destroy the Colts 26-3. Mac Jones 20 of 30, 147 and a touchdown. So, I mean, it was mainly run defense for the Patriots, and they got it done pretty easily. So, Packers Lions. What in the world is going on with the Packers? They look like a poverty franchise, and coming off of the last 2 years, Aaron Rodgers won back-to-back MVPs. But you see here, he's thrown 3 interceptions in one game, and he threw 2 interceptions in the red zone, and he threw over like the last 15 years, he only threw 14, and he threw 2 in one game. So, and the running game's not there. They didn't run the ball at all this game. Uh, 21 carries across 3 running backs. 21 carries. That's just not going to get it done. Especially if you see Rodgers struggling or the wide receiver struggling, you got to run the ball, and the Packers just didn't do it. And give the Lions credit. I mean, they're not a great team, but they got the win today. Jared Goff, 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jamal Williams, 24 carries, 81 yards. He looks like the guy right now, as of right now. We'll see where DeAndre Swift is in the coming weeks, but Lions get it done 15-9. They pick off Rodgers twice in the end zone and get it done. So good for the Lions. They have been bad for so long. It's nice to see them get a win over the Packers, which I hate, or who I hate. Chargers Falcons. Falcons had an early 10-0 lead. Chargers come back 14 in the second quarter. Justin Herbert 30 of 43, 245 and a touchdown and a pick. Austin Eckler 14 carries, 47 yards and a touchdown, and he also had a receiving touchdown. So, I mean, give the ball in the hands of your playmakers, and good things will happen. Austin Eckler goes off in this game. Receiving, is Keenan Allen still hurt? His hamstring still annoying him, so he's not playing. But Josh Palmer steps up in the receiving game, 8 receptions, 106 yards, and a little hairy at the end. Austin Eckler fumbles. I forget who picked it up for the Falcons. He runs it back. He just fumbles it by himself. Chargers get it back. They march down like 30 yards, kick a game-winning field goal. But Marcus Mariota, 12 of 23, 129 yards, and 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Tyler Algier, 10 carries, 99 yards. Cordell Patterson, 13 carries, 44 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So I think this might be another running back tandem that they use moving forward, because Tyler Algier with his explosiveness and Cordell Patterson just being Patterson. But we'll see. Kyle Pitts, 2 receptions, 27 yards. I mean, the Falcons, they still have a shot at winning the NFC South, but it looks less and less every week. So Chargers moving to 5-3. The Bills and the Jets. Oh my gosh, this was crazy, because I know the Jets are 6-3, but Zach Wilson really doesn't do much. 18 of 25, 154 and a touchdown. I mean, that's an okay stat line. That's good completion percentage, but Zach Wilson's not doing anything like incredible that they're winning for them to win these games. Michael Carter, 12 of 76 and a touchdown. James Robinson, 13 of 48. I mean, they don't have like all these weapons. Like, you look at the Packers, they have 0. They have Rodgers. I mean, they got Rodgers, Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon, and they got a couple good wide receivers, and they're stinking it up. And the Jets, they don't really have anybody. I mean, Zach Wilson, second-year player, he hasn't done anything all year. Michael Carter back up to Breece Hill. Garrett Wilson, the one weapon they might have, but their defense, and they just seem to put together games and put together wins. Josh Allen looks horrible. 18 of 34, 205, and 2 interceptions. It's just bad decisions by Allen, trying to put the team on his back. They need a run game. They need it badly. You can't have Josh Allen be your leading carrier, try to throw the ball 50 yards every pass. You just can't have that if you're the Buffalo Bills. Your team is too good to have one player carry the team. You just can't do that. You can't have Josh Allen. It's just bad football by the Bills right now. And it's just upsetting to watch, because their team is so good and they should be destroying these teams, and yet you lose to the New York Jets and Zach Wilson. I will never understand. Bills got to figure, they're 0-2 against their division rivals right now, and those are the games that matter most against your division, because if you win your division, you're in the playoffs, move on from there. But if you can't win your division, and if the Bills keep losing the division rivals, who knows if we'll see them. We might see them at the bottom of the wild card. Might not even see them in the playoffs at all if they continue to lose these divisional games, which will suck, because they're a great team. I'm sure they'll make it. They'll figure it out, but this game was insane. Vikings Commanders, this had me on the edge of my seat all game, because this is what the Vikings do. Amazing first drive, incredible first drive, and nothing for 2.5 quarters. Nothing. 0, squat, nada. And then they come back in the fourth quarter down, I think they were down 10. Yeah, they're down 10. And they just continually find a way to win games. Kirk Cousins, 22 of 40, 265, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Nick Mullins had to come in for a play because Kirk got sacked, and it looked like he was hurt, but he had to come out. Dalvin Cook, 17 of 47. They also need a little bit more of a run game. You got to only, what is this, 22 carries the entire game. Two of them by Kirk Cousins, one of them by Justin Jefferson. You got to establish a run game moving forward. You can't get stuck being pass happy, trying to force it to JJ. I know he's incredible, and you got a bunch of weapons in the wide receiver core, but if you just sit there and force it and force it and force it, you're bound to make a mistake, which is what happened in the middle of this game. They tried to force it to JJ at like end of the second quarter, and it was picked off. That's easy 3 points. This game is less stressful moving forward, but the Commanders' Taylor Heineke looked good, 15 to 28, 149, and 2 touchdowns and a pick. Um, Again, you're seeing this. They had a decent run game, but if the team is playing like a defense nowadays, they're playing shell coverage because they don't want to give up the deep ball. Establish the run game. If you want them to come out of that shell coverage, run the ball, and they got to put guys in the box. Then you go play action, toss it over the safety's head, and boom, you got a touchdown. But I know it sounds easy just saying it, but uh, these teams are not running the ball. You see it with the Packers, the Vikings right now run game, and you'll see it with the Chiefs coming up. I think Mahomes threw it for 68. He had 68 attempts. I know they won the game, but they beat the Tennessee Titans and Malik Willis barely. I mean, I know Mahomes is Mahomes, but you got to establish some sort of running game. But Commanders throw this one in the garbage. They go to 4-5. Vikings move to 7-1. Second best record in the NFL behind the Eagles, which is their only loss. Bengals Panthers, RIP to anybody facing Joe Mixon in fantasy. He scored like 50 some points. I forget. Baker Mayfield, 14 of 20, 155, 2 touchdowns. Philip Walker, 3 of 10, 2 interceptions. The Panthers are just bad. They're just playing bad football. They're 2-7. Joe Burrow looked good, but Joe Mixon looked great. 22 carries, 153 yards, and 4 touchdowns. And he also had a receiving touchdown, I think. Yeah. 4 receptions, 58 yards, and a touchdown. He looked insane. Bengals had this one won in the first half. They could have sent out their backups in the second half, and they would have won like super handily. But Bengals 5-4, Panthers 2-7. Expect the Bengals to move forward, looking more and more like a team we saw last year, because they're a really good team and they built up the O line. So I could expect them to make a run in the playoffs, a deep run. Raiders Jaguars. This just cracks me up because I was born in Colorado, so I'm a Broncos fan. I live in Minnesota, so I'm also a Vikings fan. But just to see the Raiders lose like this over every single week just makes me smile, makes me happy, because I hate the Raiders so much, and I hate Josh McDaniels, and I just hate the Raiders. And when I see them blow another lead, it just makes me smile. I'm just super happy. So, boom. And because the Broncos are having a terrible season, it's nice to see another AFC West team just underperforming and losing to a bad team. I mean, what do you say to the Raiders? I mean, you have 17-point leads, 20-point leads, and you continually boof it. Like, you just lose. Like, I don't understand what's going on. I mean, you have Josh Jacobs in the backfield. You have Derek Carr. I know he's not like a superstar quarterback, but he's a good quarterback. You got Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfrow. And I mean, you're playing Trevor Lawrence, who's he could go either way. He could be great, he could be bad. He's still got to find that 25 of 31, 235 and a touchdown. He looked good today. And Travis Etienne, just 28 carries, 109 yards, 2 touchdowns. He looked great. Christian Kirk, 8 receptions, 76 yards and a touchdown. But I think the Raiders got to do some serious consideration this year, because I don't know what in the world is happening with them. They look bad. They lose 20-27 to the Jaguars. Dolphins Bears, really close game, really fun game. 35-32. Dolphins pull it out, but Justin Fields looked insanely good. 17-28, 123 yards and 3 touchdowns passing, and then he had 15 carries for 178 yards and a touchdown rushing. So he looks like he's the man in Chicago, or at least for this game he was. But Darnell Mooney, leading receiver with 43 yards and a touchdown. Cole Kmet, 5 for 41. But, I mean, Tua, 21 of 30, 302, and three touchdowns. That's an insane stat line. That was amazing. Tyreek Hill, 7 of 143 and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 5 for 85. This was just a great game all around. But the Dolphins are tough to beat. And the Bears, with the team they have, is awesome to see Justin Fields go off like this. It was a great game, but the Dolphins pull it out 35-32. The Seahawks and Cardinals, I did not watch this game. Um, Although it was kind of close, 31-21. Seahawks get the dub. Geno Smith, 275, two touchdowns and a pick. Kenneth Walker, 26 carries, 109 yards and two touchdowns. Tyler Lockett with a touchdown. DK Metcalf with a touchdown. I mean, the Seahawks look like a good team with Geno Smith, which is crazy to say. He's having a career year. Cardinals look bad. 25 of 35, 175 yards and two touchdowns was Kyler Murray. But they don't have a run game. That's it. Plain and simple. They didn't have one. They have Kyler Murray, but that's kind of it. It's funny because Call of Duty came out like 2 weeks ago, and now Kyler's 0-2. Um, but I mean, Cardinals were 7-0 last year, I believe, to start the season. Now they're 3-6. Seahawks had no expectations this year, are 6-3. So the NFL is just crazy. But Seahawks get the win this week against the Cardinals. Rams, Bucks. I mean, Rams had this game held down all day. Defense looked great. Stafford looked okay, 13-27, 165 and a touchdown. Darrell Henderson, 12 of 56. Cooper Kupp does what Cooper Kupp does. 8 receptions, 127 yards and a touchdown. But Rams couldn't score touchdowns. They had one touchdown all game, and then they might have, yeah, and 2 field goals. And with the offense they have, they should be able to score more points. But the Buccaneers couldn't do anything all game either until, the last 40 seconds. It's like that memes where people say, hold my beer. That's what Tom Brady was with less than a minute, needing a touchdown with no timeouts. He's like, hold my beer. Let me do this. Let me do my job. Which is insane because the Rams had 59 minutes of great football and defense. And Tom Brady couldn't do anything. And in the last minute, he's just like, okay, I'm going to just start trying now, which is insane. He goes 36 of 58, 280 and a touchdown. I mean, it's just a crazy. The NFL is just a crazy space right now. I don't even know what to make of it. All these teams who should be great are bad. All these bad teams who should be bad are good. All these average teams are average. Like everybody's like 3-5, 4-5, 5-5, 6-4. Like there's not that many standout teams. There's not many. I mean, there's a few garbage teams, but I don't even know what to make of the NFL season this year. It's just crazy. Titans, Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes threw it 68 times for 446 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. And he also ran for a touchdown. 6 carries, 63 yards. You got to establish a run game, Kansas City. You barely beat the Tennessee Titans with Malik Willis. I know their defense played great, but and I know Mahomes is great, but you beat him by 3 points. You had to go into overtime, which is arguable for the Titans because there was a bad PI call on the 2-point conversion. So in my opinion, the Titans should have won this game 17-15. And I blame the run game. They didn't have one. They didn't have a run game. Their 4 running backs combined for 13 carries for 14 yards. That's averaging like 1 yard a carry. That's awful. And you can't be doing that against really good teams moving forward. Teams that'll start to figure it out. You just can't be doing that. I know I said there's a lot of all these teams are playing like not like their record, like average, but once teams start figuring it out, you can't just be throwing the ball 70 times a game. But Chiefs get this one, get the win, and Patrick Mahomes goes off like he always does. Ravens Saints Monday night tonight at 7:15 p.m. Central Time. I'm taking the Ravens. I need Lamar to go off in fantasy. Please, Lamar. I need like 40 points to win my game. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know your picks. Subscribe to me on YouTube, like the video, follow me on Spotify, Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys Wednesday for my Week 10 NFL picks.